In the Second Republic, I expect the Second Republic to be more accommodating. But it seems the Second Republic is on a Cold War, which is even more dangerous.
With the private sector.
Ultimately, human rights, private sector, and all that. Yet, they must be embracing and saying, this is the Second Republic, this is what will happen. Do what you have to do, promote your business.
Why?
Because they came up with the mantra of Zimbabwe is open for business. They came up with a mantra that will be inclusive. And they've not been able to do that. And they've betrayed the people of this country. 17 November 2017, everybody, everyone, world over, supported the change which would see Zimbabwe being a better nation. And in anticipation. Is the anticipation what it is now? No. You've got people who have been persecuted for no reason.
All right, guys, I don't know how many people have been hearing the word FAZ. All right, so maybe the question that I have and you have is, who is FAZ?
Madam Speaker, in terms of Chapter 11 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, our Constitution recognizes our security forces and security agents, which consist of the military, which consists of the police, which consists of the prison service, now the prisons and correctional service, and which consists of the intelligence. Madam Speaker, now, ma'am, we respect these institutions. We are proud of these institutions who, by virtue of Section 208, are bound to respect this parliament and elected civilian authority. Madam Speaker, during this current ongoing voter roll inspection exercise, we are seeing at polling stations a creature and individuals coming from a creature called FAZ. They are virtually in every polling station. We read that they purport to come from the intelligence service. But we know the intelligence service. We know our intelligence authority. What is this creature called FAZ? Why is it interfering with our elections? I know from the ruling party ZANU-PF that FAZ even interfered in their primary elections. Madam Speaker, ma'am, if we create parallel militias, it will lead to a disaster. It will lead to military coups. May the Minister of Defense come and explain what FAZ is doing and what it is doing in our polling stations, when in terms of the law, only ZEC officials and political parties and candidates are allowed to be in the same. I thank you very much.
So I've been really having this question. I've seen quite a number of tweets about FAZ, but I think Change Radio really did explain it well. So I want to read this for you. So they said FAZ members occupy ZEC offices, voters inspection centers in Masvingo. So Forever Associates of Zimbabwe, that's the meaning of the word FAZ, have set up a camp at Cheke Hall in Masvingo's Urban Ward 1. They are distributing ZANU-PF party cards, recording voters' information. In another incident, the following FAZ members are allegedly causing unrest at ZEC offices in Bikita East Ward 24, Takunda Secondary Polling Station, Chipo Chauke, Dakazive Izviriko, Masangandara Police Station, Sukai Mugonderwa, Kuzai Mushoshi, Madzivire Police Station, Thompson Kaipa, Lucia Maripita. Then Mining Police Station, Hebed Madiwa, Deore Clinic, Ward 24, Zakeo Garirwi. So in Ward 9, Masvingo West, Maria Mapingiro is reportedly documenting the details of those who inspect their names on the voters' roll at Nunkunza Primary School Police Station. In Good South, Ward 30 at Sharawude Police Station, citizens have complained about the behavior of ZEC, ZANU-PF, and FAZ officials who are encamped at the police station. ZEC officials and the police have allegedly denied citizens access to the voters' roll to review and verify their information. FAZ and ZANU-PF officials, including Peter Marom, have been accused of harassing, intimidating, and questioning citizens as they leave. That's all I have about FAZ. So when you see people disrespecting Zimbabwe, it's because they actually see us like your behavior. I mean, in 2023, this is not 1500s, yo. This is 2023. People expect you to be people of integrity, people of classy, people of respect of self. You may think that you're punishing the electorate or Zimbabweans. No, you're not. You're punishing yourself. You know, guys, let's not forget, this season will pass. Imagine get to live your life where everyone look at you at Chikushipa because they will never respect you. It is one of the most difficult journey everyone can ever walk. Because let me tell you, you can buy a million houses. You can hide money wherever. You can invest in asset, whatever the case may be. But you still be an empty vessel. Until you realize that, no, it's your heart that needs a surgery. You know, you can drive the most expensive car and still be empty. Miserable. As a matter of fact, your behavior most of the time says a lot about who you are. People don't realize that. It's not about what you're collecting. It's really about how you treat people. How you work on becoming a better person in your life is a reputation that matters.
Well, opposition have been complaining that the activities of political parties are not happening as freely as they should. You see sporadic disruptions of meetings and campaigning, and of course government will deny that the law enforcement agencies are involved, and also the governing party would deny the fact that they are involved. But there has been sporadic and also pockets of disruptions in relation to when parties are campaigning, and therefore you know that even during the by-elections that were held, there were similar issues, and you cannot win elections unless there was a process. It doesn't start on voting day. It starts with build-up a year before. Look at South Africa. Already you can see parties are campaigning, and no one is being stopped from having meetings or saying whatever they want to say. I was watching today, the president is in parliament answering questions. Presenting his budget for the office, but you can hear political parties are presenting political statements, thinking about elections. You have some leaders who are out there with gatherings. I mean, the FF leader in the Free State. So you can see that there's already electioneering, and no one is complaining. They are all over the media, and therefore you need that kind of an environment to prevail ahead of elections. But it's not so easy in that country. Already people on social media are crying foul to say the election date coincide with the BRICS summit in South Africa, and therefore they are concerned that media houses in South Africa will prioritize the coverage of BRICS, and we are going to ignore the elections in Zimbabwe, and also all eyes around the world will be on the BRICS summit with all the challenges around the summit. And therefore, you can see that now, even as media, we are under pressure to decide how you deploy and what you prioritize. And therefore, it becomes a very difficult exercise. And also, it is a very, very expensive exercise for media.
And you can only imagine, what that is going to look like, especially when it comes to prioritizing. But there's another big issue, and that's the international community that is watching this particular development and the possibility of further sanctions. You cannot even rule that out. Do you get a sense that the government will be watching this and the security cluster making sure that all things are done according to the book?
When you look at President Mnangagwa's posture, I mean, he was in the United Kingdom recently during the coronation of the king. He is trying to put a brave face and portraying that image that Zimbabwe is open for business, but also they are doing things differently. But when you speak to opposition parties and ordinary people on the ground, you get a different story. And therefore, you are correct. The international community will be watching, and perhaps that they can be able to take a decision. You know, they want to be admitted back to the Commonwealth, and I think the Commonwealth will be watching. And also, you'll be having international observers, much as you'll be having this big BRICS summit in South Africa. There is just no way the international community will not be watching the elections, and the international media will be there.
Oma Kanjani, we're definitely going to be okay. Trust me, relax. God is with us. He also say, if Zimbabweans were not patriotic, the country should have been worse than Afghanistan, Libya, Somalia, and Sudan. And he's telling the truth. But Zimbabweans have been very faithful to the nation. We are all faithful people. And by the way, we are polarized. We are not vindictive people. We are very loving. We are caring. So for that reason, we have to suffer. You know, people expect you to be an animal, but we are not. We are humans. So we're going to be very respectful to ourselves and to everyone around us. So I guess that's why people are taking advantage, because we are too sweet. All right. When you're a nice person, people think you're foolish. That's the problem. But here's the deal about good people. It's only one day where they're going to prove to you that they're smarter than the devil. But here's the thing, again, something very bad news. I think I've spoken to you. Zimbabwe is one of the most miserable country on earth. I'm not surprised, especially the way that we behave. It says a lot about our misery. It says a lot that we are actually not peaceful people. And this is not talking about peace in terms of outside peace. It's talking about who we are from the inside. You know what I mean? Like, there is no person on earth who is really stable and mentally stable, who is joyful. Because if you are a good person, you're going to give out goodness. But whenever you are giving out vile, hatred, pain, it says a lot about your heart. Maybe it's time that you go back and really work on your heart. Because you know what? The Bible speaks out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. But you know, when it was talks about the heart, it was definitely refers to your subconscious. What is it that is in your heart? It doesn't talk about the heart that you guys always referring to. No, it talks about what's in your subconscious. What is it that you've been feeding on? You've been feeding on hatred, toxicity. You are not forgiving. You are such an angry person. And the only thing that you can give out is pain. So I encourage you, if you're someone who's very toxic, to really work on yourself so that at least you can give out love. Definitely are very dark days for most Zimbabweans, but I don't see any dark thing. I just see that God is at work. I foresee God take the good and bad to work for his goodness. You know, I know that I was telling someone, I said, do you believe in a miracle? He said, yes, I do. So why are you discounting, you know, a situation where a miracle has to happen? Because if you want a miracle, there must be some very, very, very difficult times that you have to say, I need God's miracle. If there ever been a time that we are praying to God for a miracle, is now. And God is going to do it, because that's what he does. You know, when your mind ends, where you end is where you begin. You know that, right? Yes, that's what he does. He's God. So don't worry about the patriotic bill. What you must do is prepare. Because you know what? Freedom is coming tomorrow. We're very close. We're a minute to freedom. Irregardless of what you see, all that is being built, it says a lot about the panic button that is definitely on. People are panicking, so they're doing everything in their power. Oh God, no. We're chilled, relaxed. Why? Because God is on our side. Guys, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Until next time, I love you all. But don't forget to subscribe, to share, to like, and also comment, because I love really to engage with you. There have been amazing people coming to the platform, and I just want to say I love it. I love hearing from you. So guys, I'll see you in my next upload. Bye for now.